My name is Quincy Tredway, and today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of a weekend trip. Why not take one? I know this from personal experience. A few weeks ago, one of my roommates who goes on many crazy adventures, he can pack a bag and go camping and be gone in the mountains, or he can grab his skis and walk outdoor and he's on the slopes an hour later. He approached me about going on a camping trip to Moab, Utah. And at first, I thought he was crazy. He said 20 people would be going on this trip. I thought, that's way too many people. We can never get that done. The logistics would never work. This sounds hectic. But he assured me it would be okay and that I would have all the supplies I needed taken care of. He would supply sleeping bags for me, tents for me. All I would have to cover is food and gas for the group I was going with. I said, okay, why not? Let's go on this trip. So I went to Moab, Utah for a weekend trip, and I learned some great benefits about weekend trips. I learned that I got to know my friends better, and I made new ones. I also got to see new scenery in a new part of the country, and it also allowed me to get away from the busyness of life and the daily routine that I'm always in. So when I went to Utah, I obviously brought a simple camping chair like this, and I didn't realize, but it would be very impactful for my time there. Just bringing a chair like this and sitting around on these with friends around a fire, you grow closer to people and you get to know them. And this little ellipse chair from Bass Pro Shops helped me do just that. I was able to share stories about life with people there, with friends there. I was also able to get to know people deeper and better around the campfire. I was also able to get to know them on the drives to and from different national parks and different campgrounds, and just the drive from Denver to Moab. So during this time, I was able to grow closer to my friends. I was also able to make new friends. Since there were 20 people on the trip, I obviously wasn't close with all of them individually, but I was able to grow closer to a few different people that I really hadn't had connection with before this. So a weekend trip can really deepen your connections with people and enable you to have meaningful conversations that you would not have in the daily routine of your life. Secondly, I also learned about the benefits of new views and seeing new parts of the country. I was able to drive 5 hours west and see canyons and prairies and cows and all sorts of things that I had never seen before in a Colorado landscape and a Utah landscape. We know from research at Stanford University that spending time outdoors reduces your stress. It also causes anxiety and can lead to a low risk of depression. So it really boosts your mental health to be outside. Also, the National Park Service suggests that climbing a mountain and seeing a view, the feeling you get when you get up to the top of the mountain and you just look out over this vast landscape, really gives you a new sense of purpose and helps your aura as a person. So seeing a new view and seeing new landscape really bolsters who you are and can really change your mental look on life. Also, I learned about how it relieves stress by getting you out of the busyness of life. So there's less stress in planning this type of trip. Rather than going on a huge trip across the ocean to some other continent or a big week-long vacation, you're just going for 3 days, and so there's less that you have to plan about. So you're not going to have as much stress when you're planning a weekend trip. You also spend less money because you're not going overseas, you're not taking a giant trip, you're probably not having to pay for airfare. You're able to just drive and you only spend money on a few certain things for those 3 days. You're also more likely to disconnect on a weekend trip than you are a giant overseas trip. If you're getting away from work and you're gone for almost over a week, you might have the tendency to check your email 1 or 2 times because you're gone for so long that might be necessary. But on a weekend trip, you're only gone 3 days, and you know what's going to come and hit you Monday, and you've already prepared for that on Thursday before you leave. And so the weekend trip really compacts the vacation where it's enjoyable, but also you're not having to worry about the rest of your life. You're able to get away for those 3 days completely. Also, I learned about escaping the daily routine. According to CNBC, weekend trips boost creativity. You're able to get away, you're able to think new thoughts, you're able to enjoy life away from your routine, away from what you normally do, and that can actually stimulate growth in the brain as you're seeing new things, interacting with new people, and not doing the same old steps you do every day. Also, you can have higher productivity when you get back to the office or to school from a weekend trip. Your brain has taken a break, it's able to rest, able to catch up a little bit, and now you're able to go back and work harder, work faster than you would have before. And also it improves health. You're able to get away from the busyness and routine of life. You're able to get in a new part of the country, see new things, rest and relax to the amount that you want to, and it'll help you a lot. So these were the 3 things, again, and we'll go over them one more time, that I learned from my weekend trip that I'd like to share with you. A weekend trip helps you get to know your friends better, and it helps you make new ones. You'll be able to have more intentional, meaningful conversations with them. You'll get to see new scenery in a new country, a new part of the country. This is beneficial for your mental health and just your overall experience in life. And third, it allows you to get away from the busyness and routine of life, which reduces stress, boosts creativity, and will help you in your overall productivity when you get back. So I'd just like to leave you with these few pictures here of some of the things I was able to see, so hopefully you'll be ready to go see when you get to take a weekend trip. See national parks and see canyons. You'll see a beautiful blue sky. So think about next time you have a free weekend, how are you going to spend it? Are you going to spend it the same way you always do? Or are you going to go on a weekend trip where you can go see a new part of the country and benefit yourself?